What is happening, everybody? Look, George and I just completely changed the format for this sunny Friday. We're actually having a couple brews, sitting back, just talking sports with all you people out there. But we're going to start out today with the NHL Playoffs.
Dude, the hottest team in LA right now is not the Lakers.
And not the Clippers.
It's the motherfucking Kangs.
Motherfucking Kangs,
Dude,
son.
they're 8-0 in the playoffs. They haven't lost a game yet.
They squeaked into those fuckers, and now they're just like on fire.
Yeah, they're destroying everyone, and next up is the Coyotes.
Yeah. The Phoenix Coyotes.
They're going to lose.
Think about that. What hockey?
Makes no sense. It was Phoenix versus Nashville. We touched on that a show.
Who do you have in that series?
Kangs.
I got the Kings, too.
Kangs in 5. I think they're going to drop 1.
I want all you hockey fans out there to be very impressed with George and I, because we're talking hockey. You guys pushed us to do this shit, and we are doing it today.
Yeah, because let me tell you, this weekend, for all of you folks out there, it's a huge Saturday of Game 7s.
Oh, shit.
That's Kevin's 2012 phone. We're not going to say what kind of brand. No, it's a we don't know phone. Damn it! Until we get an endorsement deal, that's a phone. Down. But trust me, everyone who owns that phone knows that ring because it's a very specific ring. But anyway, I welcomed Kevin into the fucking 2012 century because that motherfucker had a rotary BlackBerry. You ever seen one of those?
I did have a rotary BlackBerry. I did. I had that shit, but I had to finally make the switch.
Thank you.
George's calling me out on that shit.
Now he can actually do Twitter from his phone.
I can. Now, on the east side of the Caps, you got the Caps and the Rangers that are going to be going into a Game 7 tomorrow night. But you got the Devils, who kind of upset the Flyers. No one, I think, expected the Devils to get as far as they are.
I think the Flyers shot their wad getting past Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
because their goal scoring was way down. I think that was their goal. A lot of people thought, the Philadelphia Flyers are happy they just beat the Penguins.
Now, what do you got? Who do you got in Game 7? Don't tell me shit with your heart. Just tell me.
I think the Caps do, because seriously, the series should be over.
It should be.
Yeah, the Rangers scored 2 goals in the last 6 seconds, or they scored a game-winning goal, it's a game-tying goal in the last 6 seconds,
and one was a 6-on-4. I agree with you, man. The Capitals
are going hard. That little motherfucker Hendricks.
Yeah,
Hendricks is skating his ass off, and that motherfucker looks.
You don't have to say anything about Holtby. I mean, he's just playing.
Holtby's playing out of his mind.
Out of his mind. But the Caps do look good. I mean, really, the series should be over, but it's not. And it's going back to New York. But I think if the Capitals come out like they did in Game 5 and 6, and they just are aggressive like that, I think they'll move to the Eastern Conference Finals against the Devils.
Look, when the Caps win that, I haven't beaten the Devils in 6.
Yeah, I think they can go through the Devils. I actually, right now, if I had to pick it, I'd say the Caps and the Kings. Caps and the Kangs.
Well, if the Kings keep playing how they are, ain't no one going to beat the Kings.
Now, let's move on to other shit, because George and I have kind of been away from filming because we've just been waiting, and we were like, you know what, George, let's just sit down on a Friday, have a couple beers, and talk sports. Because that's how we got this shit started. So, NBA. Okay, we're going to start. The 76ers eliminated the Bulls. Okay,
that seems shocking on paper when you have an 8-1, but when the one just constantly their star player can't stay healthy, and let's face it, past Derrick Rose, they got nothing.
Oh yeah, I mean, and it wasn't just Derrick Rose. I mean, Joakim Noah went out for a while.
Talking about like Joaquin Phoenix?
Yeah, his brother. Anyway, Noah. Joakim Noah went out.
Joking Noah.
I'm fucking everything up, man. What's his name?
Joakim Noah.
Joakim Noah. Joakim Noah got hurt.
Just call him Noah.
Yeah, Noah
with the pony.
Noah's Ark. But Noah basically, he was hurt. He was down for a while, and it's like.
And what did I say a long time ago about the Bulls and Joakim Noah? If you're going to beat the Bulls, you need to get
Joakim Noah?
Yeah, him too.
Yeah.
You need to get him out of the game.
You really do.
And I'm going to tell you what. I think if he was in this series and played all 7 games, I don't think the 76ers would have won.
No, I don't think so either. But, I mean, you know what? The one thing he does bring, he brings a lot of fire and spirit to the Bulls.
Yes.
He gets hyped the fuck up.
And who I'm disappointed in?
Who?
Brian Scalabrine. Why didn't he step his shit up? For all y'all don't know who I'm talking about, go look at the Uncut Sports Show on Twitter, and you'll see
Brian Scalabrine. Anyway, they're going to meet.
Who's going to meet?
The 76ers.
Is going to meet who?
They're going to meet your boys.
No,
they're not going to meet your
play
boys.
Boston.
I'm sorry, they're going to play Boston because Boston just closed it out against Atlanta. Now, people seem to think, okay, before we get in this, On the other side, the Heat are going to be playing the Pacers. But we're not going to get in that because we're going to talk about this 76ers-Boston Celtics series.
What we are going to get into real quick, though, before we get to the 76ers-Boston series, for all you bitches who hate LeBron, go back and look at Game 4 of the playoff series and tell me he can't hit big shots. Eat a dick. Shed it. Now, as Kevin was saying, the 76ers are now playing against Boston.
Right.
Who you got?
I got Boston.
And how many games?
6.
Ooh.
Yeah. I mean, I feel just like what you said. I feel like the 76ers are the reason they're there is because you had a Bulls team that was banged the fuck up. And I mean, they didn't have the MVP. I mean, Noah was out a couple games, and everything was out of sync. They lost those players, and then you're trying to get people to come. So I think the 76ers and 76ers and Philly fans will get mad at me to say they're there by default because obviously they balled to get there, but I just don't feel like they're going to the Celtics have been there time and time again. They got a great coach, and let me tell you something. And they're healthy now. They have everybody.
Dude, I'm going to tell you what. Kevin Garnett plays with a passion and a hunger and a desire that I wish somebody on your favorite team would show just a little bit of.
Right.
Kevin Garnett's like, oh, you want to call me old? Keep going. That's the fire that drives me. And let's face it. At Kevin Garnett's age, for you people who don't know, Kevin Garnett didn't go to college.
No.
He's been in the league since he was 18 years old. Mm-hmm. That was in 1976.
Yeah.
The mug's old as hell.
You know what's funny? If you look at these players, Kobe Bryant, Tim Duncan, and Kevin Garnett. Garnett has maybe played a little bit, but I know Tim Duncan and Kobe came in the league at the same time.
Yeah, well, Tim Duncan also spent some time at Wake Forest.
Yeah, so it's so funny sometimes when you think about players when you get older and you think, okay, people are like, oh, why is Kobe's been in the league a long-ass time.
Yes, but you also have to remember in the beginning part of Kobe's career, he was
sitting on the bench watching because they had all kinds of fucking studs playing at that time. Nick Van Exel.
How many championships did they win with Kobe on the bench?
Huh?
How many championships did they win with Kobe on the bench?
0.
Just checking.
Yeah.
Yeah. Studs.
But I think Boston is going to give the 76ers fit. I think they're going to advance. I think obviously your boys are going to advance against the Pacers.
Yes.
Although the Pacers do have the bigs, son. They have the bigs.
And what do bigs do? They run real slow. They run real slow.
Right?
Yeah. And the Heat get up and down the court.
Yeah. So that's pretty much
it. No. Because the big thing right now is the talk of the Heat's defense.
Right.
And I don't think there's a team on the Eastern side playing better defense than the Heat.
The bottom line is the Heat have an easy road.
Oh, yeah.
To the finals,
they have to be
NBA
smiling
finals.
from ear to ear. And you know what happens after the season? They signed Steve Nash, and then it's a wrap.
I hope that doesn't happen. Anyway, speaking of Steve Nash, he's playing over in the West. Let's move over to the West now.
He plays in the West, but he's not playing in the playoffs.
No, that mug's
at home.
Yeah,
with Dirk Nowitzki playing fucking hoops in the backyard, playing horse.
Much, yeah. He's pretty much this is his fucking shit.
OKC is waiting on. Who's advanced? Oklahoma City's the only team that's advanced at this point.
Oklahoma City's the only one that's closed it out, and San Antonio has 2. And they're both on the Oklahoma City. Well, let's start with San Antonio. Right. San Antonio is waiting for the winner of Memphis and the Clippers,
the real team of LA.
And George's trying to get my blood pressure, but I can't even argue with them because it's just ridiculous. But let's get back to the Clippers. I think the Clippers are going to meet San Antonio.
Dude, fuck them. What you need to do is go to the Uncut Sports Show Twitter account and look at deep thoughts from Blake Griffin. That Bama is trash.
I think they're gonna squeak past Memphis. I really do.
I hope not. Game 6 is tonight, isn't it?
Yeah. But
I don't like the Clippers. I hope Memphis beats the shit out of them.
I mean, they're up. Because I think the Clippers, if they do meet San Antonio, that's the one. You know how it is. Styles make matchups. I think they can kind of not give them fits. I mean, I would still take San Antonio on 6, but I think they can take still a couple games from the Spurs. If that happens, that's still yet to be determined.
This is going to sound crazy. I got the Spurs coming out of the West to the finals.
Yeah? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd agree with you right now.
We'll see, though. I mean, because San Antonio came in, last year's the 1 or 2 seed and got swept. They got destroyed last year in the playoffs. So I'm glad they made it out of the first round this
year. And the year before.
But
they fall apart.
But you know what's great? When you have an older team and you sweep in 4 and you get to sit back and relax a little bit. Because, again, here's another team that's been there. I don't think they're going to get rusty. I don't think they're going to get out of a groove.
Now, on the other side, I don't think it's good for the Thunder.
No, I don't, because they're young and they need to ride those highs when they got them. And right now, they're all sitting around trying to figure out what to do with themselves.
And the Thunder are a team that are vulnerable. If they can get in a veteran team, well, the Spurs are young, too. They've got a great bench. The Spurs are deep as shit, and they can get in your head. They can fuck up the Thunder. Another team, and we'll go to that right now, is the Lakers. Everybody out there knows I'm a huge Lakers fan. I don't know what the fuck. Are they trying to just implode or what? They need Ron back. And I'm not saying world meta peace. They need Ron back. They need Ron. But you were making some good points. George was ripping into my shit and thoroughly enjoying it. Go ahead, George. Feel free to just make me miserable.
Here's my I don't know what Andrew Bynum's problem is. I don't know what Andrew Bynum and Paul Gasol just pulled a fucking Mo Williams and Delonte West. They said playoffs, pow, and deuced out. They have not been around in fucking over 100 minutes of basketball. Paul Gasol had 3 rebounds. Wow. Rebounds. He had
Cut
3
him off,
rebounds.
bartender, huh? What now?
3 rebounds.
Yeah.
And from you folks who saw, you know what I already think of his big soft ass.
Right.
Kobe Bryant had 4 bags of IV fluid. Mm-hmm. He had more fluid pumped into him than that 7-footer could get rebounds.
Yeah.
Garbage.
Yeah. I mean, the problem is, and Kobe called the whole team out after, I mean, he did just what
he said the
Dirk
team has
did.
no heart.
And to some degree, you have to agree with them, man. I mean, you have to agree with them. I sat there and watched them for the last 2 games, and that when I'm saying game 5 and 6 of the playoffs, they have just let them sit around at the perimeter and take open shots. They're like uncontested. You cannot win a fucking game like that. That's Denver's game too. Denver wants to do that. They have the bigs. They don't want to come out. They're playing no fucking defense. And if this continues, it's see you bye. As much as I hate to say it, I mean, the Lakers, if they play like they played in game 5 or 6, not only will they get eliminated, but they will get eliminated bad. And you know what? They were up 3-1.
Can you explain something to me?
How many times has that happened, George? I don't know.
It's about to happen.
Yeah.
Can maybe someone out there can help me. What is Andrew Bynum thinking when they interview him at the end of the game? And he sat there, and I quote, "Yeah, I didn't play in the 4th quarter, but man, Denver was playing awesome." What?
Yeah.
What? So,
Andrew Bynum needs to get that head checked, I think.
Something's wrong with him. Like, he's off. Like, he's in his mid-20s now. He's not 19. What do you mean? Man, they were playing awesome.
Right. Yeah.
What the fuck did you just...
I don't know what he was doing. But, I mean, the problem is that the Lakers are out of sync. They're not playing defense, and they're defensive. The reason they were winning games are when they're playing... What the hell are you doing, George?
Bird call. Call.
Well, okay. Now, that's Denver. Now, yeah, you know what's funny? Why are George and I even talking about? Why are we even talking about the series?
No,
because the most important shit is up in Denver, and it's not the basketball team. Well, it's part of the basketball team, but it's not. It's the Birdman.
He got big ass problems on Sesame Street.
The problem is he's watching too much Sesame Street. Maybe not him. We don't know that. I didn't say that. But the problem is there's somebody's watching too much.
Something's going down in Andersen's.
Look, this is the thing. What is the department that rolled up in Chris Andersen's house?
Internet.
That's the Birdman who plays
against Children's Unit.
The Internet Crime Against Children's Unit. So that could be child pornography, something to deal with viewing it, watching it, creating it. We don't know. Now, another thing we don't know is how Chris Andersen, this unit seemed to have got some evidence that they feel that's relevant to the case from his home. Now, the problem is, and George and I were discussing this, is we don't know what Chris Andersen's involvement is in this, even though it happened in his home, if any.
Right.
Because he's a celebrity. He probably has a nice spread. Who knows who's coming in and out of his house? Who knows what they're doing on the computers? Who knows? We don't know what the fuck is going on.
Now, let's go back to the group that is investigating him and has been in his personal home in Denver and come out of his home with material. This unit investigating Andersen investigates child porn, internet luring, child predators, and child pornography.
None of those sound good.
No, there is not. And here's the unfortunate thing: if nothing comes of this, and he's absolved of all accounts.
Absolved. That's a big ass word. I'm just saying, Nick.
No one's gonna shake. He can't shake this.
No,
because he's already been dismissed from the team.
Yeah.
The team was like, no, we're not touching it.
Believe me, if you were the owner or anything, I'm sorry, but right now. If you sat there and did something, or if I sat there and I'd be like this, don't show up next week, George, because you're co-signing to that shit.
Yep.
And it's unfortunate if he has no part to do with it.
And we hope,
we hope so for his sake.
And Kevin and I spoke about this earlier, and here's in my personal view. this is not alcohol. This is not drugs. And you can't rehab from this shit.
No.
You can't fix this. This is just me.
Yeah.
That is a fucked up mental mind state. I don't know what happened to you. Look at Jerry Sandusky.
Mm-hmm.
Jerry Sandusky said he liked to be around two groups of people, young kids and old people.
I'm going to tell you what, the only thing.
Something's wrong with that.
I'm going to tell you what, when it comes to kids and stuff like this, it's a behavioral problem that they have specialists that analyze that shit, okay? In my opinion, people who do child pornography or pedophiles and stuff like this, they are no different than serial killers. I'm serious. They're in the same type of people investigate these crazy motherfuckers. It's the same type of shit. It's like, you don't, if Birdman happens to be associated with some of this shit, it's a wrap. It's done. You might as well stab somebody in the fucking neck. 5 people in this, because you need to kill 3 people to be a serial killer. I'm just saying.
It's funny that the black guy on the show knows about serial killers.
I know, because not too many serial killers.
No.
Except the sniper fucked that up for the black.
Did
Him
he?
and Wayne Williams.
Wayne Brady?
Not Wayne Brady.
Wayne Brady gonna have to slap
Is
a
he
hoe?
gonna have to choke? Is Wayne Brady gonna have to choke a bitch? But
anyway, what we're getting at is Denver's got issues off the court. Chris Andersen has an uphill battle ahead of him.
Mm-hmm.
I hope this just happens to be someone else's computer that happened to be left at your house. And if it is your shit, good luck. Because if you go to prison, you're dead. They don't fuck around in prison with this shit.
No.
You touch kids, they touch you.
especially if you go into prison in the southwest part of this country.
Not
good.
No. So,
Not good.
but that then alludes us
Unless
to
you're Mexican. Call.
Wow. So
Okay.
let's go from Denver to New York, but let's stay on the same topic.
Okay. Speaking of child pornography, which
There's no.
you
Yeah.
okay. Let's talk about the state of New York.
There's an article on Bloody Elbow that can give you way more details about this, but it's very short. It's only about 3 paragraphs. Basically, what happens in the state of New
Not
York,
to be mistaken with Bloody Kneecap.
if you're watching child pornography or streaming child pornography or just viewing it,
It's fine and dandy.
it's okay because you'll get off on that charge.
Yeah, no one
but
will
if
be
you
mad.
try to download it or you own it or you possess it, that's when they'll lock you up. But don't mind that because
You can watch it all
while
day
you're
long.
watching child porn, you won't watch MMA because that's still not legal.
Yeah. There's no MMA in New York City,
But you can
they
watch-
can't have an event.
But you can watch child porn.
But you know what? They can have a, hey, let's watch some fucking child pornography party, and that shit would be fine.
Right. As long as it's not physically.
I don't know if they can sell tickets to that shit. Could they? Who knows?
So this country we live in still has some amazing hurdles to leap over.
Yeah,
It just
some big-ass ones.
Yeah, and we could lump North Carolina into this, which is
Yeah.
a whole other can of worms, which it just makes no sense to me
It's
either.
just crazy.
If 2 people love each other and they want to get married, go for it.
Hey, man,
Have a
tear it
blast.
up, man. Just stop to hate everybody. Just let people do what what makes them feel comfortable.
Except for the child porn thing. If that shit makes you feel comfortable, you need to get shot in
Yeah,
the face.
none of that shit.
Anyway, back to sports.
Yes. Well, speaking of MMA, we do have an event that's coming up.
Yes, we do.
The
Tuesday.
UFC on Fuel TV, and it's actually in George and I backyard.
Virginia.
Yeah, and that would be the headliner of that event is the Korean Zombie, Jung, versus Dustin Poirier. Not to be mistaken with the nice French drink Perrier.
Because that's exactly what I was going to confuse him with.
Right.
Dustin Poirier.
Now, there's going to be other people on this card.
Yes, Amir
Okay.
Sadala, which is no shock because he trains and lives in. I don't know, maybe he doesn't train, but he was born and raised and came up in Virginia.
Yeah, in Richmond. And he's going to be fighting
Jorge Lopez.
Jorge Lopez. And Donald the Cowboy Cerrone is going to try to totally redeem himself.
Because last time, if you don't remember, he shot his wad against Nate Diaz, who just fought his way into a title shot.
Right. And he's going to be fighting Jeremy Stevens.
So next week, Kevin and I will be giving you a recap of this fight.
Yeah.
As in, right now, there's just too much shit to go on for us to cover this.
Yeah, there's too much stuff. And actually, for the first time, and there's a lot going on
In sports.